Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Sex Talk. This episode today is featuring our special guests, Anais.
Hey, y'all.
I am very excited for this conversation. I'm gonna wait till a couple of y'all get online, have the enters of nets, tell everybody that we got something going on. Grab the mic, that's important. And get ready soon. I don't know if you want to check it on your phone to see how we're streaming. I guess you could put the volume all the way down.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There we are.
It literally had just popped up that you were live. Let's just go. Oh, nice. I was going to say, not you lying. Okay, there we go.
There we are. Okay.
There we go.
Look at us looking at ourselves. All right, so we're going to get started, and I want Anais to go ahead and give us a brief introduction about who you are, what you got going, before we get into the questions.
I'm going to make this quick. Hello, guys. I am Anais. My business name is Anais J Beauty. You can find me here on Instagram with that name. I am a professional makeup artist. I have been for the past 15 years. I'm also a beauty educator. I'm a mommy and a badass. I mean, what else?
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get right into it, okay? Because we only have an hour here in the studio, and we have to get.
You can't be on CP time today, so we gotta get together. It's Black History Month, so we gotta do right.
You know what? We were 4 minutes behind, but I think we're doing okay.
Pretty alright.
We're doing okay. All right. So, Anais, thank you for joining us.
Yes. Well, you know, Mike. We gonna get into this mode. Oh yeah.
What is your relationship to sex?
Now it is finally, I can say, healthy. I had a great relationship with sex now. Before, it was something that I looked at as mandatory. Almost weaponized it. But now I look at sex as something that should just be adventurous and enjoyable. Yeah.
When you said that you weaponized it, were you talking about how you used it for yourself or how it was used against you? And if so, what's the difference and how was that?
I would say, because I am now single and I'm outside, but prior to, I was in a relationship for 17 years. So I was married, and it was almost like a treat. So if you did what I wanted, then I would give you some. It was like a manipulation type of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if I could be, I'm real honest and transparent, so that's just what it is. But I feel like now I'm realizing that I made sex too much about the other person and never really consider myself, because it was like I'm withholding it from him. Well, you ain't getting it either, so who's really winning here? So my relationship now with sex is so much more open and just healthy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you practice a lot of sensuality in your sex life? And if so, how do you practice it?
Oh, yes. And I think if you were to ask me this question like 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't know. I definitely would have gave you a different answer. But I feel like now when it comes to sensuality, I don't have the mindset of this is someone else's responsibility. Okay. Because I feel like when I think of sensuality, you know the stuff we see in movies, you think about blue lights and like lingerie and maybe like a see-through chiffon robe. Why are you doing that? And the music playing and the lights are flashing. Like I thought that's what sensuality was. And I'm realizing now that, girl, don't nobody even gotta be in the room with you. It could just be you. And over the past year and a half, I've really been giving myself, shout outs to me, those sensual experiences. So it really doesn't have a lot to do with sex overall, but I guess just how good I can make myself feel. Like that's how I look at sensuality. Yeah.
Do you feel like you are just now implementing it, but is it also you just now discovering it, or has it been something that you've known in the past?
I've definitely known. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have the the freedom or the capacity to really explain it or express it. It's always been there and it's laid very dormant, against my own free will. But when I finally did have the option to like explore it, it was like, oh, we lit now. Yeah, it's just totally different now.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference for you between your sex now and your sex then?
Let me tell y'all something, right? So I'm gonna keep it a buck. And if you're from church and you're watching, hi, I'm so sorry you gotta hear this, but too bad. You should be paying attention to the word right now. I feel like my experience in the past was like, I had a general like consensus of sex. But I feel like over the past, like I said, like since my separation now and my level of freedom now, my mindset has just shifted. Ask me that question.
What's the biggest difference between your sex then and now?
Yes, I was trying to figure out how to word it. My sex then was... So I grew up in church, guys. So we were taught one thing, well, two things. When you first become a woman, and you start to menstruate, it's don't let nobody touch you, because then you're going to get pregnant. And then once I got into my adulthood, it was, well, you can't have sex before marriage. And that was that. And I had a very toxic relationship with sex back then. It wasn't fun. It was a chore because I'm a wife and I have to, because if not, what if he goes out? Now it's just like, what you want to do, right? Like, I feel like my relationship with sex now is just, I'm so at peace with it. Like, I don't feel that anxiety, especially as someone who has dealt with, molestation and stuff like that as a younger girl. It's like my relationship with sex was always very rigid. Very, very rigid. Always like this, it's all about the man. Even if I don't get mine, it's okay because he's satisfied. Now you don't have no reason. But now it's like, we're not stopping until I get mine. Right. But I just feel like now I just enjoy it so much more. Now my mindset is so much more open. Things that you probably would have asked me, girl, like last year, I'd have been like, you do what? Now I'm like, I do that too. Like I feel like I am just so much more well-rounded and really getting to like know myself for real. So it's lit, okay? Yeah.
What is your biggest goal of sex right now?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say, now let me know how specific this question is.
As specific as you want to get.
All right, because like when it comes to, all right, yeah, so zoom in, right? Come in. Like when it comes to sexual like fantasies, can I go there?
You can go anywhere you want to go.
Wonderful, vroom, okay? I feel like with me, one of my goals is to peg bisexual black man. That's a goal. I wrote it down.
Oh, she's serious about this. Hello? You put it on paper, it's
a plan. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, that is like one of my biggest goals. But when it comes to the mental aspect, I desire to have a partner of my own that I just can go to the depths and really just explore on a level of love. Like having fun is cool, but I want to be able to be taken to like the heights of this is my person and they can do for me what nobody else can. I really, that is like my lifelong goal when it comes to sex. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How romantic.
I'm a hopeless romance. I'm sorry, I can't help it, y'all. I'm into it. Yeah.
Oh, my roommate said, "Paint me. I'm a bisexual man."
DM me, boo.
Tina Twirler.
Yeah.
Malachi, aka Tina Twirler, is her drag persona. Yes.
You got me glass on. I'm for real. I'm dead serious. Okay?
I'll introduce you to.
I'm dead serious. What's good? Okay.
I don't think you got to meet Malachi when you came to my game night.
I think I had left. Did I? What the? Fair skin? Kind of like butt pecan complexion?
Yes.
I did. Actually, that was my buddy at one point. Yeah.
See, y'all are acquainted. See,
I think we were playing some game or something like that. Yeah, definitely was on my side.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You switched up on me at the end, but it was okay. I still love you.
Okay, we got a question. Are you a top or a bottom?
Well, I gotta choose.
And won't. And ain't.
And
is
both. Right?
And is both.
I said it's fun and adventurous. My relationship with sex, like I said, is really open. I am not one of those women that's like, I'm not dealing with no man who want me to play around with his booty hole. What you want me to do to it? You want me to lick it? You want me to put my finger in it? What you want me to do? I am not like, y'all, I'm a mess, okay? Like, I just feel like I am a woman. If you identify, it's going to be a lot of moaning, okay? I'm so sorry. If you identify as a heterosexual man and I as a woman am doing these things to you, why you got to feel like there's a problem with that? You like it? It feel good? You want me to do it again? Yes, then say that. Like, I don't care. What happens here that's our business. So I don't care what you want me to do. I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important too because there are so many people who are so stringent when it comes to their idea of fluidity, sexuality.
Yes.
Really, the more open you are, the better it is because you're not locked into half of the ideas that people place on you that don't make any sense to actually what is real.
I love it.
Doesn't make any sense to what's true. Doesn't make any sense to the actual definition of terms or what it actually means. People call things homosexual that aren't. People go, so it's like, excuse me, when you are dealing with like your fantasy, for example, of wanting to peg a bisexual man. This man is already a queer man, but let's say this man was a straight man who only liked women and who only allowed women to peg him. That is a heterosexual act.
Literally.
That is a heterosexual act by definition. By definition. And there are so many people who place homophobic ideology on bodies and action and interaction and sex and relationships, and it really creates such a hard wall around how people express themselves or don't. And then they create all these insecurities that just only end up falling right back on you because they like these things that they can't explore.
Exactly.
Or they refuse to feel the ultimate sense of orgasm and ecstasy of their body.
Literally,
just because.
Suppress it,
Literally. And to have the
ultimate,
to have their I will tie you down, your feet. Mm-hmm. And to have the ultimate goal of having a partner that you can delve deep into the depths of exploration
with no
I
limits.
feel that.
I
feel
limits.
That.
Yo.
I feel that. There is it's something special to find someone so compatible with you that all they do are just go on the journey of what it is that you want to try.
Yes.
And that the thing about sex is that people, they limit themselves, but once you break the barrier of limitations, there are no limits. That's why it's so amazing. You can live for 100 years and not try every sexual thing you could possibly try. And that's why it's amazing. That's why it's explorative. That's why it helps you grow. And all of the above. You literally can't stop.
Literally.
There's so many things there. You can't stop. There's so many places to go. And it's so special and very rare a lot of times to find someone who's willing to go with you. To go
Take
with you.
Me there. I want to go there.
Let's go
Take
there.
Me to every place. For fun and for wishes. Because I got to go, honey. Okay?
She has to go.
I'm just saying.
She's trying to see it. Trying to see it. All right. Yes, ma'am. Come on now. See what else we got over here. Come on, we're in the thick of it.
I felt I was a mess. I'm sorry.
We're in the thick of it.
First of all, it's the iPad with this page of questions for me. Más preguntas. Because what?
Hello, we're ready. We've been ready. We're born ready.
here
You
for
gotta
ready.
stay ready.
I'm here
So
for
you
ready.
gotta get ready.
I'm here for it.
You know what I'm talking about. Okay, well, since we're already talking about the fantasies and the kinks and fetishes, I guess we can get all the way up in there and ask you a couple of yours. Name a few kinks and fetishes that you have.
Now, I don't know if it's really a kink because I feel like now with social media, it's becoming like
so normalized.
It's so normalized. But that gooch.
She's looking at a potential in the camera. I can
Is
see.
it you? Is it you?
I see the stare.
Listen,
I can feel the intensity.
I love that, like, real bad. I'm also, it's gonna sound, you're about to report this video for this, because it's gonna be so strange. The back of the knees.
Oh, that's a special spot. That's a special spot. Yeah. There are different parts of the body that people call like erogenous zones. And the back of the knees, even though it's not something that people actually talk about, are one of those spots. Like the back of the knees, even the inside of the elbow. Same way, of course, the neck is a very popular one. The ears, very popular one. And the feet. A lot of people think that feet should just be reserved for people who have feet fetish.
No.
And the foot
so much nerve endings.
Yes. And when I was reading up on some type of like distinction or I guess connection between like the anatomy and the brain, the sensation of the feet is right next to your pleasure center in your brain. So it makes a lot of sense that pleasure is so warped in feet. And so many people have feet fetishes because it's actually wired very closely in certain parts of the brain. So,
let me tell you something, right? So I went to my first kink party last night, and it was... it was amazing. Amazing. First of all, I got 2 massages. One of them was Mer. And she introduced, like, instruments that I had never been introduced to before. And when I tell you, I lost it. I think my feet curled at one point. I think they kept lifting and my toes kept curling. I think I probably squirmed a couple of times. Like, I had never experienced sensations like that from, like, objects. Like, I was just like, what is happening? The people in the room are going to think I'm weird. No. Like, I was having a whole conversation because I could not believe what I was experiencing. Like, that was... blew my mind back. Like, completely blew my mind.
Yeah, so let me explain to people. So there are a lot of different sex spaces you can go into. And we went to a kink party last night. It was hosted by Goddess Bria. Her Instagram is on the rocks with a 0. On the rocks, I think with a Z after rocks underscore. Either way. Her kink party was really for vanilla folk, people who have never gone to kink parties before, people who it was their first time, and it was created so that people could feel very comfortable in a sensual sexual space without feeling pressured and without feeling intimidated. A lot of people are very relaxed when they smoke, so it was called Smoke and Choke. And you could be choking on something if you want, but you could also just relax and chill
like
and converse and just have fun.
I just chill. It was amazing.
I'm an inspiring somatic sexologist. So it is a person who studies sex who particularly wants to practice with the body. That's what somatic means. So as a somatic sexologist, I want to particularly focus my work in therapy on sensation play. And I want to use an array of instruments to create the orgasmic experience of the body that is outside of the traditional erogenous zones that are connected to your genitalia. Yeah. Because anybody can grab ass and like feel on titties and touch the vulva, but you know, without stimulating the clit, like how much can you orgasm? How much can you peak? And how much ecstasy can you feel? Not a lot of people feel those things. Right. I have also decided that I wanted to provide touch therapy when I get licensed because so many people are touch deprived that they just want to feel you touch touch them. It's not even about penetrative sex.
Exactly.
It's not even about sex at
period.
all. It's not even about sex at
Just
all.
cuddle me, spoon me.
That's
my
what
boy.
That's what it's about. It's about being touched. A lot of us are not hugged enough throughout the day. Yeah. Like, a lot of us weren't being touched enough and nurtured in a physical way when we were younger. We are so deprived in so many ways that it's something that I have, like, really had the calling to have, honestly. Like, I truly want people to feel this. I know how my body responds to this. Yeah. And that is the reason why I'm like, everyone needs this. Like, everyone needs to feel this.
That's facts.
I think that it's important for people to feel like light scratches or even like prickly sensations on their skin, things that they don't ever really truly feel
on a daily basis.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And so I use the instruments. One is called bear claws, which most people would know if they're chefs because they come in like steel and people shred meat with them, but you can also use them as a kink tool for the skin.
I thought it was like a Black History.
Yeah, no, girl. Okay. It's called a bear claw.
I like that.
Okay. You could go to the cooking stove and get that.
Amazon America.
Yes. There's also something called the Wartenberg pinwheel, which is a medical tool. A lot of people are also into medical kinks, and so they use a lot of medical tools in their kink. It's very intriguing. I've watched a whole session one time. It's very intriguing. I don't necessarily have a medical kink, but there are some medical tools that I love, and the pinwheel is one of them.
That's interesting.
And I had a multiple pinwheel Wartenberg.
So you used the multiple one, and
I used the multiple one, and she used the single one.
And the single, yes, and the single one kind of like spread the sensation.
It feels
out.
like a slight knife. It's
like slicing you. Yeah,
and I love that. I should get the single one too because I really love that.
Yeah, so pain is kind of a kink too. I like pain.
Yes, so me too. And that's another reason why these types of sensations are something that I have kind of delved into. Because I don't think people understand that pain doesn't have to be crazy or severe or like extremely painful. Yeah. They could be a scratch. A scratch is not a tickle, so it is a form of pain. Yeah. It is not a severe pain, but it's a form of pain.
In your head,
and there's different things that you can feel in your body that's painful, that's so pleasurable because it's not extreme. What are some other things that you have seen that you have not tried? And you know those things are your kinks, but what are some things that you are interested in?
Gag ball.
Oh, I love me a gag ball, I ain't gonna lie.
I love to be dominated. I want you to choke me. I'm one of those, so it depends on like the vibe. Like if you're trying to be like on some grown and sexy, make love type shit, alright, cool. And we're gonna have us in the background, whatever. But other than that, I want you to call me slut. I want you to slut me out.
For those
Is
who
it you?
For those who don't know,
who is one of y'all?
Hello.
I'm just saying.
Name calling is a type of humiliation. And so in the realm of kink and fetish, if you like to be called names, you probably like to be humiliated. That is her kink, okay? She likes the name calling. She likes to put me in my place and tell me things.
Because I've been a bad girl.
She wants all those things.
Timmy out.
All that. Me personally, I also love to be dominated. I identify as a switch. I am dominant and submissive. I can do both and switch in the same session with someone.
Touche and have.
I do not like to be humiliated in any form.
Oh, really?
At all.
I think I have a limit on my humiliation. Like, I don't mind you calling me a bitch. I don't mind you telling me I'm a slut or calling you like your whore or something. I'm okay with that. But watch your mouth. That's probably about... Okay. Yeah, I feel like I have a certain boundary.
What do you think it is?
I think, and that probably is rooted in childhood trauma.
Okay.
So that's why my journey now in healing is not only healing like the traumatic parts like that the world can see, but even like in my sexual experiences, having to like really have a healthy relationship now with separating what happened and what is happening now and realizing they don't have to be the same. I can have a traumatic experience 20 years ago, but there's always room for change is what I'm trying to tell myself. Yeah.
Do you know what those trigger points are, or are you like always informed in those times, like when it comes up for you and you didn't know that it was there?
I am really good now because I'm a big journalist. I feel like being able to express myself in written form really helps me to communicate verbally. And if I can, like, read this page real quick, see what's going on. But I am usually really big on having these conversations like prior to, like, okay, now, here's what I like. If I know that it's someone that eventually we're probably going to end up having some type of sexual relationship, then I am really, you could do this, and that, but don't you dare cross this line.
Okay.
That this is where I cross the line. And so far, everyone has been pretty...
Okay. So you are pretty well informed of what triggers you.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Shadow work helps. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't think people realize that trauma, like, it bleeds so deep into your entire life. And I think we just put it into this, well, if I get married now, and it's just like you get stuck on it, you gotta have sex when you're married. You gotta hit you gotta do something. And if you're not comfortable or you're experiencing any type of trauma, there's gonna be limitations, which is gonna cause a disconnect. So being in a former relationship now, I've learned so much, like, moving forward, like, be vocal. If you don't like it, don't front. Don't fake it. Don't act like, I don't like that. Can you do this instead? And if you get mad now, that's an ego problem. Go to your mom and talk to her. That's not my problem. Okay? Great. Yeah.
Period.
I'm just saying.
What was the journey like for you being a child, having some of those negative sexual traumatic experiences, and then growing into your, like, I guess not super early childhood, but I mean, did you have sex only after you got married?
Girl, no.
Okay, so what was that transition then? Like, from that childhood, what kind of things was informing your younger sex years?
I didn't have a sex life until my adulthood. I officially lost my virginity when I was, like, 19. And that was to the man that I married. So stupid. Anyway, I feel like I kind of, now granted, I played around with other people in between those times before any penetrative sex, but I feel like I had a very unhealthy relationship and idea of what sex was. And because of that, my mom was never like the, here's what this is. We never had, she didn't talk about none of that. So I was never informed of anything. I had no idea what to expect. So I feared sex. And it wasn't something that I thought was supposed to be fun and adventurous. It was supposed to be something that is just and only shared between a man and a wife. And even if it's bad, you take it because that's your spouse. I'm not saying I did that, but... Yeah, so it was really, really unhealthy, and I feel like as a result, it's gonna sound funny, I'm gonna crack, but I settled for bad sex because it was almost like, at least I could just say I'm having it.
Oh my God, that's intense.
That's all I got. And now I'm just like, I wish you would have loved yourself and been so much more informed, because you shouldn't have settled for that. Like, especially like being in this single phase now, and granted, y'all, I've been single for a while, and I've only dealt with like 2 people, and I only deal with 2 people as of right now. But if you want to slide in my DMs, yeah, I'm just saying. But at the same time, it's just like I'm ready now to just really fully dive into what does Anais like for real. And this self-exploration has been...
Self-explorationing.
Right? It is.
It's been doing its job.
It is freaking phenomenal. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm not going to say that I'm like healed from my my childhood trauma, but I'm just so aware that it doesn't affect me negatively anymore. Like, I'm like, okay, it's almost like when that negative energy that walks in a room and you make a conscious decision to ignore that person, like, she's not even here. Like, that's how I treat, like, I'm over it. I know that it's good. I know it's fun, so you can't taunt me anymore. Like, that's the relationship that I have with it now. Yeah. I acknowledge it, but I don't pay no mind.
Yeah, I feel like that's like quintessential in healing, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to accept and acknowledge. Like there is a level of emptiness and escapism that comes from you just acting like shit did not happen.
Never happened.
And it's never going to go away because it happened. So you can't make something not happen that has happened.
Yeah.
So the acknowledgement is really for you to know how to ignore it in order for you to live your life. Like
absolutely.
More healed, more progressive,
My life changed
more
for the
open.
better once that happened. Yeah. Like once I really start to dig deep and figure out the why behind why I was feeling certain ways, I was like, okay, so now that you know why, go back and do the work. Let's go back, sit down in your shit, and let's figure this out because you got stuff to do, you got goals, you got people to peg. So we got to get through this. And I have been really enjoying the journey of just being able to have, let me tell you, my self-pleasuring sessions are full on productions.
I've heard they're crazy.
And I know if anybody sees, they're gonna be like, who are you sending this to? Because it's like, you would think I'm sending this to like freaking Hugh Hefner?
Right.
Like, I'm talking cinematic mode, right? Lights and all kind of stuff. But I realized now I've given the best parts of myself to not to say like I got a high body count or nothing, but to everybody, and even outside of sex. And now I'm realizing I have never paid that much attention to myself. Like, I date myself. I'm dope. Like, I realized how dope I was by being intentional and dating and making love to myself. I was like, first of all, you're sexy as hell. You're sensual as fuck. Like, I have so much love to give, and I'm happy now that I've learned how to give that to myself and not just wait, but nobody loves me. Bitch, don't you love you? I love me. Turn them lights off. Like,
Grace loves that. She says cinematic self-pleasuring sessions. Yes, she said, and you are so dope.
Hey, boo. Yeah.
And is.
I try to be, yeah.
And amazing. That's the thing, it's like, we have to, as women especially Black women, get into a space where, like I tell people all the time, I consider myself a humble person. And
I'm not.
I consider myself a humble person, but I don't believe in denouncing my greatness.
That's why I hate that word humble.
And I think that, like, because people have said that to me, so, you know, as a description, I'm not going to say that it's not true, because I am. Now, do I think that I'm amazing at everything that I do and I'm probably the best? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hello. Do you see this? Sorry, do you know me?
I love it.
I'm sorry. But
I'm getting there now. And I love it here.
But to be humble is not about not believing how amazing you are, and I feel like people get that confused. And I also feel like people think that they have to tell someone that they're lying when they hear something amazing about themselves because they want to be humble. That's not what humble is.
Yeah.
Humble is understanding that even though you are the best, you don't gotta break nobody down just to be there.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell nobody that they ain't shit just to feel good. You ain't gotta say something to somebody to break down their whole confidence just to elevate your life or your spirit. Like that's devil behavior. Okay?
That's dirty work.
And period.
Yes.
Or
nasty work.
As Scott was saying, nasty work. That's nasty work. Like
I said that about 4 times last night. I was weak.
He be killing me with that. It's one of my favorite phrases he says, yo. I was dying. Like it really is. It really is nasty work. When you are feeling amazing about yourself, you
want to make other people feel good.
That's number one. And number two, it's very obvious who does not feel good. I tell people all the time, the world is broken up into 2 groups. The people who are happy and the people who are not. Period. That's just I don't care what you say. There are 2 different people in this world, and you can tell by a conversation who those people are.
Yeah.
It's not about being happy that day that you meet them. It's about their general expectation of a joyous and vibrant life, and the ability to see that that is what the world should be revolving around.
Exactly.
Pleasure and happiness. Period. Those people, oh, it's easy to tell. Oh, it's easy. Because the ones who are not, oh, it's easy. It's easy. It's not hard.
And
to
as
know.
someone who has been on both sides, you can definitely tell. Oh yeah, y'all would have hated me before. It was always woe was me, and nobody knew. It was the trouble I see. Always victim mentality. Now I'm like, bitch, you knew better. Stand up, stand up. Like, there's a level of accountability that comes along with that healing.
Yes.
Where you're like, okay, yes, you're not responsible for what they did, but you endured it. You decided. Like, you made a conscious decision that that's all you wanted. So, who's really to blame here? Yeah.
I think Scott said, I know he's still on here. I don't know if people really have taken that and understood how important it is. Because people, I think, especially now, like, it's definitely, what's the word? It's definitely, like, politically correct to hunt down the person who has done anything to hurt you, which is not wrong, sure, of course. But people have become so comfortable being victims that that's just kind of lame for real.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that was me for a long time.
There's this level, and I'm not saying that you can't have a space of people giving you the attention of the pity that you have just gone through.
I was seeking it. I'm gonna be honest.
That's the thing.
I was seeking it.
Because there is a space where, especially right after you get out of something so downtrodden and horrible, you need people to be there for you to feel pity for yourself and for them to tell you how amazing you are. Because I was there. I needed people to pick me up. But that shouldn't be what you rest on.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the end of, just because you got out of it, now where you are is where you end up. And that's just what it is. People end up there and they never go anywhere else. And they are convinced that because they got out of this, they can now live their life as a victim so that everyone feels sorry for them for the rest of their life, and they have no control. It's about control. It's about control. Do you have control over your life or not? That's the question. Because if you do, you'll take control over your sex life.
Absolutely.
You'll take control over your pleasure.
Yeah.
You'll take control over what ails you and what doesn't. You'll take control over what makes you feel good. Take control over the people who do, what people say, how people touch you, how you feel. You take control over everything. If you don't take accountability, you can't take control.
Dang. Put that on a shirt, somebody. I'll buy it. I make shirts. I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
She'll do it.
But that's the honest truth. I don't think, like I told everybody, I am 36, going to be 37 years old this year. This is the first time I'm really living. I've been alive for a long time, but I've never lived. Like, I've only lived like maybe a year and some change. And it wasn't until I had to stop and take accountability. I can be honest and say that when I left my relationship, it was like pointing fingers just to prove. And I had to stop and say, all right, guys, you done did some shit. You need to go deal with that. And it's like, when I got to that point, my entire life just got great. Like, I was able to enjoy, like, whether there was money in my account or not, I was happy. My mindset was just like, I get to be alive. I get to live. And I'm thinking about the things that I've been able to do over the past year, all the great experiences I've had. And I'm like, I get to do this. I get to be, as someone who has tried to unalive herself 5 times and been institutionalized, to get to this place now is just like, I get to live. I get to get up and experience something new. And it could be pegging. Is it you? What's wrong with me? I'm just gonna, all right, behave. It could be you. It could be you. It could be you. So I had to just bring it back. Sorry. I had to bring it full circle. Just full circle. I'm so sorry. I'll behave.
Oh my God. You gotta behave.
Okay, good.
You could act up. Okay. You could just go on and act on up. Question about signs. We're both water signs.
Yep.
I'm a positive Pisces.
Yeah.
And
I'm a crazy Cancer.
Crazy Cancer. Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Do you feel like anyone has ever learned of your sign and assumed something sexual about you? Or do you feel like your sign also informs any of your sexual personality? This is tickling her soul.
So, I'm a Cancer, and what is the first thing that everybody always says about Cancers? Y'all are so emotional, and we are. And we have really big feelings, and those feelings, when we are intimate, are translated. I'm a crier. I cried during my massage. I was to the point I got up one eyelash. Am I lying? One eyelash was off, and I had a big old black mark from my eyeshadow right there. But I am very emotional in that aspect. I've had partners say things to me like, I know that's what you good. I just know it's fire. It is. What else you want to know? Y'all say it to everybody. Like, what else you got? But most people will assume that I am shy. They think that because I'm so emotional that I don't know how to control them, and which would have been true a couple of years ago, but shadow work helps. Now I am so in tune with my emotions, and I've been also told that my sign isn't the only thing that's watery. You picking up what I'm putting down?
Hello.
Is it me you're looking for?
I can see it in your eyes.
Just saying. But yeah, and I'm just gonna say that both are very true assumptions, right? But yeah, like those are like the main two things that I'm always told. Like, I know if I have sex with you, you're gonna get crazy, and I am.
And will.
And that's why I just don't deal with like randoms and stuff, because I'm proposing by midnight. If you put your thumb in my booty hole, I'm proposing. We go together. Real bad.
Real bad.
Real bad. Get the thoughts out. Real bad is all I gotta say. Is it you?
Oh my God. I can't.
This is probably, no, you've had other crazy people on here. Hey Farrah, I know you're watching. That's my girl.
I love her. Love her.
Oh yes.
Love her.
We gotta
now.
get an episode with all three of us. Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
That would be dope.
That would be hilarious.
That would be, yeah.
Do you think that with your signs and what people assume of your signs are the biggest misconceptions you had to dismantle with your sex life? What is the biggest misconception you've had to like debunk that people just assume about you?
Honestly, I definitely would say that most people think that because I am so reserved, like I told you guys, I come from a very heavy Christian background. I'm an ordained reverend, I was a minister, I was a choir director, a whole nine. I was a preacher. So people always just have this misconception that I'm the quiet church girl. I told you I got 6 kids. Did I mention that?
I did not mention that.
Podcast over. Like that really, there's nothing more. That's it. Like there's nothing more to add to that. But yeah, they always think that I am like gonna be this girl they're gonna have to train and bring out the freaky side of, and I'm just like, I'm about to blow your mind, okay? Eve ain't got nothing on me. She ain't gonna blow your mind like me. All right? Yeah, that's like the biggest misconception. And then once stuff get popping, it's like, you nasty. I said that. I told you that. I texted, I sent the pigeon, and you still didn't get the message. Wild. Diabolical.
Unhinged.
Yeah, that's like the biggest misconception.
We here. We're here. Okay.
Yeah, in full swing.
Here.
Absolutely.
We here.
Touche.
Yeah, let's jump back on. See what's there. All right. Oh, let me see.
This iPad full of questions for me.
Because sometimes I just be like, okay, well,
I get it.
We done reached there.
I get it.
Where we going next?
Mm-hmm. I'm like trying to look over her shoulder.
You're very sensual. You
Yeah.
mentioned being very sensual with yourself
Mhm.
and how you really connect to sensuality as something that allows you to have fun with yourself and to really put a lot of time and energy into pouring into yourself.
Yeah.
What are your favorite sensual practices and why?
So like with it's become almost like a ritual. I set the ambiance for myself. I make sure I have something really nice to eat. I usually that day will have like a steak or like a lobster because food is also a very big love language for me. I know it don't look like it,
Yes.
that part. But I'll run a nice bath and I am big on music. I have a curated playlist. I have my bag full of toys and I decide that night like what my body is feeling like. I pay attention to what is it that I'm lacking this week. Like this week, okay, what do you need? Like, do you need stimulation? Do you just need like to just caress yourself? Like I have different things that I like feathers and things like that. And sometimes I just let the music play, sip my wine, smoke my blunt, and I'll just like lightly caress myself. Do you know how amazing that is? Phenomenal. Yes, I'm staring into your soul, okay? Yeah. Like it is, and there's no penetration. Sometimes I don't even need to. It is just like a mind thing. And like learning to train your mind to control the body is like, yeah.
The voice is shivering.
Literally.
At this point.
Yeah. Actually, next question.
Girl, we're going to delve into that.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I think that it's important to note that a lot of things that you mention, some sexperts and sexologists and people who work in sex will describe those things as outer course.
Yes.
And a lot of people are so wrapped up in the idea of intercourse that they are unaware that not
So
only
much
does
more.
outer course exist, but outer course is also a type of journey that you allow your body to go on with the, I guess, the openness
Yeah.
of allowing it to get to sex.
Yes.
But to understand that you don't need to end in sex is important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people see sex as an end. And the way that you can allow yourself to get more intimate and to get more sensual, as we saw last night, is by allowing the body to integrate and to intertwine outside of sex.
Yes.
In general. Outside of penetration in
Yo.
general. Like, have you explored someone's body without thinking that you were going to penetrate them? Or were they going to penetrate you? Those are the type of questions that will allow you to become more intimate with a partner because you are literally becoming innovative with a body outside of yourself with the hopes on exploring that with no expectations.
Yeah.
And it creates a different type of relationship.
I have a partner that literally can just speak and I can orgasm. Like I just shared something with Ayana in the car and I was just like, he didn't touch me. Like all he did was instruct me. This is what I want you to do. And this is and what did I tell you to do? And I'm just like, yes, like that's how you can talk. Say it again. Like things like that, being not even in the same room and being able to experience an orgasm and there's no one touching you. Do you know how powerful your mind is? And if y'all will really just like tap into that, you will experience sex in a way that you have never even imagined. I promise you. Try it and DM me and let me know. I promise you. It's just so exhilarating. Yeah.
It is. I think that there's a level of knowing that you have to have about your body, about energy. Once you get yourself into those practices, you become more knowledgeable, and then you have that knowing. Then you have that power. Then you can actually practice that. I was also sharing with Anais that I had a former partner who refused to have penetrative sex with me in order to maintain my energy, because he was tainted energetically and he did not want to put that onto me.
Crazy.
And because that was the case, our sex was only energetic and it was only sensual.
That was like the
and
best
there
thing
was
I ever
no
heard.
penetration.
Crazy.
And it was still to date one of the best sexual experiences I've ever had in my life, without all of those things that people assume sex needs to look like. And it's just powerful. It's just so powerful to be in spaces that are outside of traditional ideas of what sex is.
And that's what I really needed, because my thought process was so rigid, and it can only be a man and a woman, and it has to be monogamous, and it has to be this. And once I let go of those limitations, I was just like, sex is fun. That's the sentence. Put a period there, and that's it. Sex is fun. It should be fun. That's it. Once I really adopted that mentality, I was like, you're making it, you work hard enough as is. You're a mom of 6. You got a business. Why are you making the one thing that's supposed to be your escape a job? Why do you need to make sure it looks like this? Just let go. Have fun. Who cares what your body looks like? Turn the lights off. And if they on, who cares? Like, I just stopped overthinking it. And just because my thing is, I'm realizing that when I'm not confident in who I am, what I look like, it takes away from the experience that my partner has now. Because if they're saying to me, I love your body, and I'm just like, well, I have this, and I have 6 babies now, and I got, 3 stretch marks, and my butt got stretch marks, and this, that, and they're just like, now they start looking at stuff they ain't even looking at before. It's like, well, she got the little tiny marks on her left butt cheek. Like, they wasn't even looking at all of that. And I'm realizing now that I'm robbing my partner of truly getting to experience the full essence of who I am, because I am choosing to suppress and withhold those parts of me. I can't say I'm giving you all of me and be like, you can have all of me, but not this part right here. And if I can't give you all of me, then you shouldn't even want the crumbs that I'm feeding you. So I've learned that the way that I speak about myself and the way that I even look at myself can either add or take away from the experience that my partner has. Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's not even to say that someone can see something that you hadn't previously pointed them out to, but also that they feel as if their words aren't landing. Especially if their love language is words of affirmation.
Yep. Current situation.
There is going to be such a big disconnect to the way that they are trying to love you,
yes,
and the way that you refuse to be loved if you do not accept things like compliments and confirmation that you're amazing.
You could have read me beautiful in the car. Why'd you have to do this here? We've been together all morning. The heck?
It's so true,
but it's honestly the
as
truth,
someone who has a love language of words of affirmation as my highest, and then physical touch and quality time being intertwined. If I tell somebody something amazing about themselves and they don't acknowledge what the hell I just said.
I did that to her one of the first times. I think we were on set with Danessa, and you told me I was free, and I was like, girl, something, and you was just gonna be like, thank you.
Thank you. That's all I need.
Thank you.
I don't need to say nothing else.
I'm like, girl,
I don't need to say nothing else. And this goes back to you denouncing your beauty. You're denouncing your prestige. You denouncing your stardom. When someone says something to you, don't tell them no. That's just what it is. Don't tell them no. Even if you don't believe it, say thank you.
You told me this at the when I came to see you when you danced that night. Yeah. Read me hooked on phonics, honey. Reading rain. What? agree.
Just say thank
Yeah.
you. Just say thank you. Even if you don't think what they're saying is true. Because what they're giving you is a gift. And
Yeah.
you are actively and energetically rejecting the gift that they are giving you. It doesn't matter
Totally
if
shifted my entire mindset.
It doesn't matter if what they're telling you is something that you haven't believed in years. Okay, that's why you're getting the gift, because you ain't get it in years. And I'm gonna need you to accept it. It's like being on the street for 5 years and the first person that you come across to give you money, you're like, oh no.
Cause not you hungry.
Cause not you been wanting a sandwich for 5 years. And you've been eating
get
scraps.
lobster now.
You've been eating scraps in the trash can.
You're
Someone
right.
just gave you $150 to go to this downtown restaurant so you can eat yourself a steak, and you're like, I don't know about that.
That's the second time she's read me. Okay.
Come on
Let's see
now.
where we're
So you're
going.
gonna take it? So you're gonna take it?
Let's
So you're
see
gonna
how
tell
we
him
do
no just because you've been struggling? It doesn't matter what you struggle with. It matters what you're getting now. And if that's a gift, then accept the gift.
I'm
Period.
learning to just say thank you. And it's important to learn to say thank you and not feel the need to fish
say
for a
anything
compliment
else.
back. That's my thing. I start switching, okay, you gotta say something nice. Just say thank you.
The thing about it is, and I feel like it's so funny how we warp ideas in our minds without thinking about how we think about them.
Yeah.
Because when people remind us to do something, we're like, oh my God, thanks for the reminder, girl. And then when we need to tell somebody something, we're like, damn, we're bothering them. We get on their nerves. We literally don't even think about that when someone texts us 3 times. We're like, oh my, look at her, checking out for me.
Wow.
So why are you annoying now that you do it? No, they feel the same way you did when they did you. So same thing. Like when you give someone a compliment, you're like, damn, I like your shirt. They're like, thank you. And you're just like, oh, she said thank you. I like your shirt. You feel good that they acknowledge what you said. You ain't saying anything. Well, I got a nice shirt on too. I hope she say something about my shirt. I don't know why she ain't saying nothing about my shirt. She know I got a shirt on. Like, don't nobody be doing that. That be my thing. Don't nobody be doing that. So why on earth are you doing it to yourself? That's me. Why you doing it to yourself?
That's the 3rd time she's read. Hey. All right, I'm gonna do better. Okay.
It's okay. Say thank you.
Gracias.
If you really want to say more than that, say thank you so much. If you want to do more than that, say thank you so much and ask them, can you shake their hand? If you want to do more than that, say thank you so much, ask them to shake their hand, ask for their name. If you want to go even farther, give them a hug.
I'm a hugger. I'm probably just
But there ain't nothing else you need to say.
That's it. I'm gonna get you when we get in the car. I want to be abundantly clear because you could have said this. She came to embarrass me on the live. I like my African accent.
All right now, let me see what we can wrap this up with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that the reads have been reading.
They've been read.
And the gems have been gathered.
My God.
We can move on. Oh, this is an interesting one. Oh, actually, I have 2 that are not typical questions that you get asked.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even like sexy questions. They're like serious questions.
Okay.
Number 1, do you have a sexual fear? And if so, would you care to share it?
Ooh. So when you say sexual fear, like something that would happen like during sex or
anything that comes to mind.
I don't think I've ever thought about that. Wow. I don't know. My heart is racing because I never thought about that. I don't think I've ever thought about that, to be honest. And like that's how open I am. Like if I don't like something, I don't even say it unless it's like so bad that I can't take it. But I don't even say anything like in the midst. Like if we, be like the recap, I'll mention it then. But I don't think I've really given that question any thought. Like don't shit on me.
No, it's not a requirement to have fear.
I like that. Okay.
So it could be nothing.
I don't think I've ever thought of anything. No. had to spend a block on that, but if I do, I'll comment it. But I don't think I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the second is, if you had to give someone a warning about sex, what would it be?
I would say to explore for yourself. And as cliche as that may sound, the reason I say that is because, especially now in the world of social media where everyone is so heavily influenced by what they see, what they hear, we have everybody on podcasts and telling you this, that, and the third. And I feel like now people have made these reservations in their mind just based on the things that they see circulating on social media. And my advice to you would be, don't do that. Because again, the second part of that would be reduce your expectations. And I don't mean that in a settling way. The reality is that I had this mentality that there's one person and only one person in this world that could possibly have everything that I need packaged into this one human, flawed person. And I get upset when people want me to be everything, but yet I had this expectation that this one person can be all of that. And then we end up losing relationships and people because they didn't meet our expectations. But is it really that, or are you just not looking at the things that they do fulfill? So I would say go into it truly with an open mind, and everything you think you know, you don't know shit. You don't know shit, and I say that just because you're never going to encounter the same person twice. Like, you cannot expect that just because you tried this method out with this person and you were with them for 3 decades and it worked out now, and that y'all split up and now you're going to move on out and try to use that same. They're two different people. So that might have been perfect and 100% correct for that relationship or that relationship when it came to sex or whatever. But I'm now like, whatever you thought you knew, you really don't know shit. Reduce your expectations and just have fun. Yeah. Do all the things. Lick that gooch. Get the pussy.
AKA lick the gooch. That's how we're ending.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You heard it. That's what we're doing. We're gonna come to a close, y'all.
Yes.
Wow, that was
really
amazing conversation. Very
Yeah.
insightful, very fun, and serious at times too. I'm sure everybody done picked up all the crumbs.
I love
okay?
it.
All the crumbs that was left.
I love
so that
it.
ladies for
I
y'all
love
to
it.
nibble on.
Slide my DMs anytime,
Yes. So let the people know anything you're working on, any groups they can join, any way they can follow you, anything that they can buy from you, any products you have. Let the people know how to support Anais.
It's a lot, okay? But you can find me on socials, Anais J Beauty. I also have a secondary Instagram page that many don't know about, but it's called Contour Coffee and Cannabis. And I share a little bit more of myself over there. I am very big on 420, so I'm very 420 friendly. I make custom rolling trays, I make t-shirts, I have an airbrush machine. I can teach you some makeup, I do hair, I do a lot of things, so whatever you need, I can fix, renovate your kitchen. Holla at me.
And will. Okay. And will. Thank you so much, my love.
You're welcome.
For being
Reading all the
here.
comments.
Yeah.
Yes, this was really fun.
Yay.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. It is a pleasure. We are going to be back in 2 weeks with
Okay.
Live with my girlfriend, Ashley Burks. I will be posting that soon, so y'all can tune into that. So on February 18th, we are going to be back in the studio for another sex talk, so you guys stay tuned. This is going to be saved on my Instagram page. You can check the replay, you can check the recap, and in due time, if you follow Sex Talk on Instagram, there will be little highlight clips on the page. I am still working on all that content, y'all. But if you go to my bio, my Sex Talk page is linked there, so you don't even have to imagine what to type in.
Yeah.
Just go to my page. I am having my I guess, second burlesque performance in New York in March.
Oh, nice.
March 14th. I still have to get more info for that. I will be in Miami end of this month, February 23rd to March 2nd.
Okay.
So, catch me back in the hometown. Catch me back in the hometown. And besides that, peace, love, and light, and I will catch y'all in 2 weeks. Love you.
Bye.